Alright, so I want to recap the bowl pivot exercises, and Maggie will probably embarrass me, but everyone should at this point have trained their dog with a paws up command that commands the dog to put their paws on the bowl. Maggie, paws up. Good dog, she didn't embarrass me. And bad trainer that I am, I forgot to get myself ready with my reward. But in any event, I'm going to hold it with both hands, and I'm going to hold it at the focal point, which for Bowser is probably about up here, and for Aspen it's down there somewhere. But in any event, for Maggie, it's about here, at least for this stage of training. And I'm just going to recap the stages that we went through in training this. And so you can adjust what you're working on based on how far along you are on this. I really would rather not take a whole lot more class time going over the earlier stages of this. So after watching this video, get caught up, please. Okay, so for the initial iteration, I'm just going to reward any movement at all. I'm not going to expect it to be straight. Maggie, yes. Maggie is proficient in this, so she'll tend to line up straight, although that one wasn't. And be modest when you're starting out. You know, a quarter turn, maybe even just one or two steps in either direction is all you should be aiming for. Yes! Okay, so that's about how much motion you should be going for. It's probably easiest to start working on the side that your dog more easily turns toward. Probably all of you have noticed that your dog turns more readily in one direction versus the other, so it's easiest to start working, and it helps the dog get the general idea. Yes! Okay, so now that we've worked that direction a little bit, we'll work the other direction. Yes! Alright, and clearly she, you know, the majority of the time is actually lining up straight with me. But again, if you have a dog that's at the beginning of this, all we're looking for is those rear feet to move. You're making a mistake if you're at the beginning and your dog moves its rear foot and then stops, and you demand that it's come into a straight position. That's something you should be introducing or requiring more toward the end stage of training this, when the dog is already proficiently moving its rear feet around. If you introduce that too soon, you're just going to really prolong the training, confuse the dog, and get both of you frustrated. Okay, so once you're reliably getting movement, continue to not put an emphasis on the dog coming into proper straight position. Instead, just increase the number of steps you're taking in either direction. And again, maintain your focal point. Yes. Free. It's good to break your dog out periodically. And this is another one of those instances of do as I say, not as I do. I have a lot of trouble remembering to break my dog out often enough, but you'd be well served if you do a better job of it than I do. Okay, and we'll work the other direction, of course. Yes. Okay, and you can see that, you know, she's coming in straight. This is plenty straight enough at this point. Once you get it to that point, if you have a decent sized dog, again maybe 16, 18 inches or bigger, you have the option. This exercise works best if the cheese is dangling from the mouth, and if you have a smaller dog, or for some reason you don't want to dangle it from the mouth, you can hold it in one hand and give flipper cues with the other hand. So don't introduce the flipper cues until you have the dog swinging freely. The dog should be able to do a complete revolution in either direction, and the dog should be lining up pretty straight. So Maggie, let's go this way so that the camera can see this. Okay, so now with the flipper cues, you're going to essentially wiggle a finger, have your hand at the side and wiggle a finger in the hand in the direction that you're turning. And so I'll demonstrate this first with the cheese in my hand. Yes! So it's really just the same exercise, except it takes a little more coordination in that you're wiggling your finger and holding the cheese in one hand. Now I'll do it with cheese in the mouth. Yes! Good girl. Okay, and I think I can leave it to your imagination that this also needs to be worked in the opposite direction. And it's just something to take on faith that the dog is actually learning the flipper cues. Even though they should be maintaining focus on their focal point, they are going to be seeing your fingers out of their peripheral vision. So that's as far as we've got on this, and again, I really don't want to take more time in class in getting to this point. The next time we work this in class, I'll ask people to demonstrate it, and I'm going to expect that people are actually at this stage, and then we're going to take it to the next level of complexity, and we'll be getting closer where we'll actually be using it in ensuring straight fronts. Okay, cut.